There's a certain image out there of you that you've tried to, well, you don't care really what like strangers think necessarily, but it's not necessarily accurate.
Big Cat, I mean, Dan, yes, I do care about him. Yeah.
How would you describe yourself?
I think in general, I'd like to present myself how I see myself.
On Barstool Sports, as part of my take, Aaron Rodgers made an appearance.
So, unapologetically authentic, and if you like me or don't like me, that's not my concern at this point. My concern is just speaking the truth and people say, "Oh, immunization, vaccination."
Yeah, I did. I said that a lot.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
But
How many people do you think you killed? What's your count?
How many grandmothers? Let's just do grandmothers.
I mean, I know you guys are, I don't find that part funny. I really don't.
Okay.
You got John Cena.
No, yeah.
And this was one joke, according to Rodgers, that crossed the line.
I'm 48 hours in, and I consulted with a now good friend of mine, Joe Rogan, after he got COVID, and I've been doing a lot of the stuff that he recommended in his podcasts and, on the phone to me, and I'm going to have the best immunity possible. I'm thankful for people like Joe stepping up and using their voice. I am somebody who's a critical thinker.
After all, this was the same man who consulted with Joe Rogan, not, a doctor.
It's actually called disinformation when you perpetuate false information about an individual.
Rodgers, a great first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback, has mastered the art of projection.
I would, add this to the mix as an aside, but the great MLK said that you have a moral obligation to object to unjust rules and rules that make no sense. In my opinion, it makes no sense for me.
And quotes MLK as a defense. After Dan Katz's question about how many grandmothers have you killed, Katz went on WMVP AM 1000 in Chicago. During his appearance with Waddle and Sylvie, Big Cat discussed the uncomfortable interaction with Rodgers, calling it a good lesson that PFT and I sometimes have to learn. Quote, "That was one of those ones that, we don't really live in the real world," Big Cat said of hosting Part of My Take, a comedic podcast that borderlines being a parody of more traditional sports shows. So when we go out into the real world and we say something that we've been joking about in the confines of our studio on ears that haven't heard those jokes before, it's kind of like, wait, what did you guys just say? Are you guys really joking about grandmothers that died from COVID? And then when you get it repeated back to you, you're like, oh yeah, that is kind of messed up. You're right. Good point. So yeah, maybe not the best, but we moved on. Score one for Aaron, but he was smiling, so it was all in good fun. All in good fun is an interesting way to categorize it, wrote Awful Announcing's Brandon Contez. The moment didn't appear to be in good fun for Rodgers, but the Part of My Take host quickly shifted subjects, and the trio went on to find topics they mutually agreed were in good fun for the podcast's remaining 30 minutes or so. The fact is, Rodgers lied about being vaccinated. His rebuttal would be, I didn't say vaccinated, I used the word immunized, which is a trash response. However, the fact remains, he was simply caught in a lie. In November of 2021, news broke that the Green Bay Packer quarterback had been diagnosed with COVID and that his previous claim of being immunized came from some homeopathic treatment he had received from an unnamed doctor. Following his COVID-19 diagnosis, Rodgers curiously took the best defense is a good offense approach and attacked his critics, saying he was now in the crosshairs of the woke mob. Rodgers petitioned the NFL to allow the treatment to count as an approved vaccine, but the league, of course, denied his request. There was also Rodgers' flat-out odd social media history, where he follows conspiratorial accounts that use the Astro World tragedy to dismiss January 6 investigations. He also liked a post with the 5G tower COVID-19 vaccine conspiracy. These accounts that Rodgers follows believes COVID-19 is a scandemic The researcher Resist Programming noted more examples. Aaron Rodgers follows accounts that call COVID a plandemic, call people who wear masks sheep, post 5G conspiracies, and believe this is all part of a global shift/reset conspiracy. He also liked this cold and flu season regimen from another account he follows. The researcher then asks, could this be his immunization protocol?